We dragged them forward to do the right thing. That is actually the solution that I believe exists for our problems. Going to the grassroots, getting the wisdom of the people, and using it to solve our problems. That's what I've been doing for 10 years. For 10 years, I've been going around this country organizing coalitions of ordinary citizens to take on corporations. And we have been beating them consistently. I started in California in 2010, fighting big oil. People said there's no way you're ever going to beat them. They have too much money, they're too sophisticated. We got 70% of the vote. I closed $1 billion tax loophole in California and gave the money to the public schools. I took on the tobacco companies in California. They won 17 times in a row. We got 60% of the vote. We gave the money to Medi-Cal to make sure that the lowest income Californians had decent health care. And you may remember that actually, I was a big part of question 6 in 2018 in Nevada, saying 50% clean energy in Nevada by 2030. Passed. Governor Sisolak signed it into law this year. It's absolutely right for Nevada. Nevada is a place that should be an absolute leader in clean energy and solar, and is. And that should be all the things we're talking about in climate. Clean, more jobs, lower cost energy, growth for everybody in the state. In addition, in this state, since the beginning of 2014, I've been coming here through Next Gen America to organize young people. In 2018, we did the largest youth voter mobilization in American history, including in Nevada. We were on 10 campuses. We more than doubled the turnout of young people in the places we were. We were in 38 congressional districts. We flipped 33. And the other thing I've done here, and I don't know if people know about this, in partnership with 7 national labor unions, we started something called For Our Future to go door to door. In 2018, that organization hit 10 million doors in the United States, 500,000 doors here in Nevada. I know that what people have been saying here tonight is true. I know that Nevada is the template for the United States of America. And I am very proud to have been part of what you guys have done over the last 10 years. It is incredible. I mean, everybody's talked not just about the electoral victories, because the electoral victories have been absolutely broad spread, they've been deep, they go to every level of government. But it's more than that. It's what happened in 2019 as a result of the electoral victories. What we've seen in this state, the success of what your legislature and your state senate and your governor have put into action as a result of the success of the ballot. We've been talking about all this stuff, but there's so much more that happened this year. It was an absolute triumph. Let me say this. I know we need to beat Mr. Trump like a drum. I know that. And I believe that I can do it better than anybody else, and I'll tell you why. If he's still at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which I'm not sure he's going to be, whoever the Republican is going to be is going to have to run on the economy because they've got nothing else. Really, all they can do is claim that he's been a good steward of the economy. I started a business in a single room with no windows and no employees and built it into a large, multinational, multi-billion-dollar company. Unlike Mr. Trump, I didn't inherit a dime from my parents. And I believe that that experience means I know what it takes for countries to be prosperous. I know what it looks like for a country to have shared prosperity, unlike the one that we have, where all of the money is going to rich people and corporations. I believe I've spent years, decades, figuring out what makes industry successful, company successful, community successful, and I know this about Mr. Trump. He's a fake and a fraud and a failure as a businessman. And he's a fake and a fraud and a failure as a steward of the U.S. economy. If you take a look at what he's done, his two big economic platforms are, one, that tax bill. The biggest giveaway to rich people and big corporations in the history of the United States. It is a historic blunder and a terrible attack on working people. And the second thing is his trade war. His trade war is hurting Americans. It is a terribly ill-conceived idea. It's hurting workers, it's hurting business people, it's hurting farmers. On day one of my administration, I'll end the trade war. It's a failure. But let me say this. I listen to these debates and it sounds like America is a failed society. We're crisis-bound, all these things are on. We are not a failed society. We're the most successful society in the history of the planet Earth. We have a failed government. That's a different question. We have a failed government, and we have to retake that government for the people. But the truth is, this is a society that has done more than any other society in history. And if we do retake that government, and if we stabilize the climate, we're in a better position than people realize, and we're in the best position of anybody ever. We will get all of the things that people want. We will get, as a right for every American, health care. We will get the education that our kids deserve. We will get clean air and clean water. No one's going to get to poison your family anymore. And we will get it living wage. People don't realize that's going to be the floor. All Americans want it. We can afford it. If you look around the world, people act like we can't afford health care for everyone. We can't afford decent education. Listen, we're the richest country in the world. Every other advanced country has health care as a right for their citizens. Other countries provide the kind of education we dream about. We can afford it. The question is this: who gets the money? If you take a look, since 1980, when Ronald Reagan went after the Air Traffic Controllers Union and started working to take out organized labor, to go after them relentlessly in a campaign, working people have not shared in the growth of America. It's all gone to the richest Americans. That's why I'd end that tax plan on day one. I'd get rid of the Trump tax plan. Working people have gone 2 generations without a raise. That's why what's going on down at the UAW is such a travesty. Because they gave up an enormous amount for that company, and that company didn't have one iota of loyalty to them or sense that they were in it together. The workers sacrificed, the companies left them behind when they had a chance. So when I think about where we are, I want structural change. I want structural change. I want term limits in Congress and the Senate. You want to get rid of Mitch McConnell? That's the way to get rid of Mitch McConnell. I want to have a national referendum. We've been talking a lot about gun safety and gun violence. 97% of Americans want background checks on every gun purchase. They want sensible gun legislation, like the legislation you guys passed this year. Why have we not gotten it when we have 300 mass shootings in a year and other countries who would undergo one mass shooting change the law in 9 days? Why do we have it? The reason is the gun manufacturers through the NRA won't let us get it. If we had a national referendum, we would have it in a week. We need to have people able to vote. The end of this voter suppression and the kinds of things that you did about same-day registration, vote by mail. And we need to get rid of a lie. The Supreme Court has said corporations are people. Let's be clear, drug companies are not people. They don't deserve the rights of American citizens. Listen, my whole life, when I've made a promise, I've delivered on it. When I said we beat the oil companies, we beat the oil companies. When I said we beat the tobacco companies, we beat the tobacco companies. When I said this guy's a crook, we should impeach him, I think we're going to impeach him. will tell you this, if you support me, I give you my word, we will break this corporate stranglehold on our democracy. We will do it. And you will see that what you're hoping for, what the American people are hoping for across the board, is not going to be the ceiling we're trying to reach. That is going to be the floor for every American citizen. That is going to be the expectation and guarantee in the 21st century of what we're trying to accomplish. I promise you that's true. We will do it. And I want to tell you one last story. So about, I'd say the first quarter of last year, of 2018, I was in the biggest hospital in Las Vegas. And I was having lunch with all the unionized workers in that hospital, or people from all the different unions. So I was with the cleaning staff, and the orderlies, and the nurses. So we're sitting around at lunch. I said, do you guys like your jobs? And they said, we love our jobs. And I said, is that because you have strong unions, and good wages, and good benefits? They said, no. We love our jobs because we save lives. This is a great hospital. Anyone who walks in here gets fantastic care. We're part of that. We save lives. We love our jobs. And I said, do you feel like the government of the United States represents you? And they said, absolutely not. We're on our own. Now, I know you have 2 great senators from this state. And I know that 3 of the 4 congresspeople are Democrats. So I know it's not about that. We have a broken government, and the people I was having lunch with, who could not have been better people. Think about that. The cleaning staff cleaning the wards took huge pride in saving lives. That's as good an American as you're ever going to find. And they felt completely abandoned by the government. I promise you that if you support me, that will never happen. That is a story that is not right if working people in this country feel abandoned by their government. That's where we are. It's not a question of what. It's how are we going to change that and give Americans a sense that we're trying to accomplish something together again, and we will succeed, and we will not allow these corporations to stop us, and we will provide the kind of America that we're proud about, and we will pass on an America that's better than the one we got, just the way our parents did, just the way Americans have done ever since the founding of this country. Thank you very much.
As Lieutenant Governor, Kate Marshall is a member of the Governor Sisolak's cabinet and serves as President of the Senate. Kate is the Chair of the Commission on Tourism, Chair of the Census Complete Count Committee, Chair of the Advisory Board of newly formed Division of Outdoor Recreation. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our Lieutenant Governor, Kate Marshall.
Today is the 3rd annual Nevada Public Lands Day. From basin to range, from Lake Tahoe to Lake Mead, this is a beautiful state. And this state and all the people in it are so blessed. I'm telling you, give it up for Nevada. But the thing is that this beautiful land sustains us, and we must remember that we must also sustain it. Right? And last legislative session, the legislature created a new Office of Outdoor Recreation. I will be its chair, and I tell you that every day on that job, I will remember that the most important thing is to sustain this land and the people who live in it. That's what we will do. Now, the way to do that is that you have to make sure that we have the resources to do that. Because it's not only that we want to sustain this land, we want to sustain this land and have good jobs that pay us well. We want to sustain this land and educate our children. We want to sustain this land able to do that. How many of you, if you could, if you had the means, okay? If you had the means, I work for the government, I don't have the means. But how many of you, if you had the means, would give $20,000 to help the state of Nevada have good jobs, good education, and affordable health care? How many of you would do that? Let's ask the treasurer. Zach, do you think that's a good deal? Yeah, no, there you go. There's your finance advice. All right, I'm going to tell you how each of you are going to be able to do that. Each of you in this room can give Nevada $20,000, and it'll take you 4 minutes. It's called the U.S. Census. All you have to do is fill out the U.S. Census, and you will bring our